So hey guys, welcome once again to my channel. It's conceptual. So today we're gonna talk about the last part of this antimicrobial pharmacology as well as the antiviral drugs. Okay, and last class of the antiviral drug, that is the neuraminidase inhibitors. Okay, so basically these are the drugs which are used to treat influenza. Okay, and what are the virus that causes influenza? Just let me know in the comment sections below. So basically this influenza are of three types, that is type A, type B and type C. So basically their only difference is they are different at the genetical and the molecular levels. Okay, so as per the name, neuraminidase inhibitors prevent the release of the new viruses. Okay, so basically once they are being multiplied, they cannot spread further and infect the other organs. Okay, so basically neuraminidase inhibitor prevent the release of the new viruses. Okay, so now in type A and type B, basically first we are going to talk. There are two kinds of proteins, that is the H protein, that is hemagglutinin, and N protein, that is the neuraminidase. So neuraminidase inhibit the N protein. Okay, from the name we can conclude that. Okay, so basically what happens when the virus get through the respiratory tract, on the upper respiratory tract. First, this hemagglutinin protein binds to this salic acids sugars and let the virus to pop in via the process of the endocytosis. So in the next slide you can see that once it attaches, the virus gets into the cell via the process of the endocytosis, and you can see here. So the hemagglutinin, we can say that it is a protein which allows the virus to enter the cell. Okay, so basically it's one of that. Simple. So then what happens, this process is inside the cell. So now once the virus has entered the cells, and we can it is that influenza virus is a RNA virus. So once and it is the negatively charged RNA. Okay, so basically it will require the RNA polymerase to form its genetic material, that it is the RNA. Okay, so RNA, via the RNA polymerase, it transcribes the RNA and make it the whole complete strand. Okay, so now once the RNA is being completed, the ribosome will synthesize the other proteins. Okay, so after that, once the genetic material is done, a bit more, and via layer to layer, via serial protein synthesis, it can make the complete virus. So basically from the RNA, from the scratch, we can say, once the RNA is completely formed, and the protein synthesis occurs step by step via the ribosomes, the new viruses can be formed. So basically it is a step by step process. So when the neuraminidase inhibitor works, let us see that now. Okay, so once this cell gets infected and starts releasing the new virus, because now the cell is infected and the virus cell has took over the host cells. Okay, so it start producing other virus, and then it can be spread to the other organisms or can be infected to other persons. So now the I told you that hemagglutinin prevents the viruses from leaving, or we can say virus allows the virus to enters the cell, and same with the neuraminidase, it cleaves salicylic acid and allows the virus to leave the cell. But we are not tend to spread the influenza virus, so we stop this process. Okay, so once the virus cannot leave the cell, and so it cannot be sustained, because of it cannot get the proper resources for replication, and so basically this virus will come to a halt. Okay, or we can say it will directly be inhibited. Okay, so neuraminidase inhibitors bind to and inhibit the neuraminidase. So here we can see the neuraminidase inhibitors bind to this neuraminidase and inhibit it. So the two example are the oseltamivir and the zanamivir. So oseltamivir is given perorally, or you can say orally, and zanamivir is given in the powder form and inhaled by the mouth. Okay, so it can only work on the influenza and influenza B viruses because the influenza C virus does not have the neuraminidase. Okay, so for type C viruses, that the neuraminidase inhibitors can not work because they do not have this enzyme neuraminidase. Okay, so now they are used in the treatment and prophylaxis. The oseltamivir is basically used for the patients for over the age of 1. Okay, and zanamivir is used for the patients over the age of the 7. And this treatment can be worked and worked effectively if within 2 days of the symptoms the patient are being admitted and treated. Okay, and prophylactically lessen the severity, duration and risk of the complications. Okay, so in prophylaxis or long term treatment for the baby, the child, or the uh, very much older elder age group, the pregnant lady and the immunocomprehensive patients, the you know this prophylaxis can be very much helpful. Okay, so now let us look at the some of the side effects of this drugs. Okay, so oseltamivir gives rise to side effects such as nausea, vomiting, dyspepsia and diarrhea. So basically these are the GI or gastrointestinal disturbances. The zanamivir is inhaled directly into the lungs, so hence it is avoided or contraindicated in individuals with the underlying airway condition such as asthma and COPD. Okay, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Okay, and this if given in this patients, that can lead to the bronchospasms. Okay, so now let us make a fun mnemonic to recall all the pharmacological facts. Okay, so here in the forest, that are the two scientists have the mirrors representing the suffix mivir. Okay, for the mirror. Okay, so now there is a ostrich representing the oseltamivir. Okay, and the snake in the Z shape or the Z shape representing the zanamivir. The A and B mirrors representing that it is used in the treatment for the influenza virus of type A and type B respectively. Okay, and for the side effects, the ostrich is vomiting from his mouth, so we can remember that it is taken perorally and it can lead to GI distress such as dyspepsia, nausea, vomiting and headache. Okay, and zanamivir, a knot is tied in his neck, so we can say that it is taken via the powdered form. Okay, from the inhalation, and it is contraindicated with the patients of the asthma and COPD, and that can lead to the bronchospasm. So now a quick recap, that is the neuraminidase inhibitors are the antiretroviral medications used in treatment and prophylaxis of the influenza A and influenza B virus respectively. The examples are oseltamivir and zanamivir. Okay, and mainly the side effects are GI disturbances for oseltamivir, and it is contraindicated in patients of the COPD and asthma, and that may lead to the bronchospasms. And the mechanism of action, that is they inhibit the neuraminidase and prevent the release of the new virons. Okay, so the neuraminidase inhibitors worked in that way. ओके, सो आई होप आपको पूरा का इस वीडियो समझ में आया होगा. अगर नहीं समझ में आया होगा तो गाइस कमेंट सेक्शन में मुझे डाउट्स पूछ सकते हो. एंड प्लीज़ डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माय चैनल बिकॉज इट गिव्स अ लॉट ऑफ मोटिवेशन एवरी टाइम यू डू such. Okay, and also do check out my Telegram channel. So until then, stay safe, stay happy, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.